Mathematics is the science of logical patterns, and truth can be established by deduction from these patterns. And the most elegant of math's truths exists in its foundation, which is numbers. For numbers are symbols which are utilized for measuring and counting. And as Plato expounded, numbers are the highest degree of knowledge, for it is knowledge itself. But what is the opposite of mathematics and numbers? It is ignorance. Man has blinded himself with ignorance. For as Socrates said, ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. So let us strive to find knowledge and truth, for truth can be found in mathematics and numbers.
What is the time and number of waiting for God's people? The time of waiting of his people has been in 40. For when Noah was delivered from the flood by the Father would rain water on mankind for 40 days and 40 nights before the waters would depart. For after 7 more days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out from the face of the land every living thing that I have made. Genesis 7:4. And when God's people were delivered from Egypt, they wandered through the desert for 40 years. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until the entire generation of those who had done evil in the sight of the Lord was destroyed. Numbers 32:13. And for 40 years after the Pharaoh's kingdom was destroyed, the land was laid in ruin and waste. A man's foot will not pass through it, and the foot of a beast will not pass through it, and it will not be inhabited for 40 years. So I will make the land of Egypt a desolation in the midst of desolated lands, and her cities in the midst of cities that laid waste will be desolate 40 years. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and disperse them among the lands. At the end of 40 years I will gather the Egyptians from the peoples, among whom they were scattered. Ezekiel 29:11. But though God's people wandered in the desert for 40 long years, the Lord gave them bread so that they might live. The sons of Israel ate the manna 40 years, until they came to an uninhabited land. They ate the manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. Exodus 16:35. And for 40 years not one thing for their sustenance was lacking. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all that you have done. He has known your wanderings through this great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord your God has been with you. You have not lacked a thing. Deuteronomy 2:7. And after their deliverance, the Lord commanded his people to remember these 40 years of waiting. For you shall remember all the way which the Lord your God has led you in the wilderness these 40 years, that he might humble you, testing you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. Deuteronomy 8:2. And his servant Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, before God gave the people his commandments. Moses entered the midst of the cloud as he went up to the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Exodus 24:18. So he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat bread or drink water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. Exodus 34:28. For 40 represents God's patience in order for us to learn his commandments, that he may not destroy us. For as Moses testified, I fell down before the Lord the 40 days and nights, which I did because the Lord had said he would destroy you. Deuteronomy 18:25. And God would display his patience time and time again. For despite the people's idolatry, Moses again would fast for 40 days and 40 nights. I, moreover, stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, like the first time. And the Lord listened to me that time also. The Lord was not willing to destroy you. Deuteronomy 10:10. And Elijah would also fast for 40 days and 40 nights, so that God would withhold his wrath from the people. So he arose and ate and drank, and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. 1 Kings 19:8. And who would finally deliver us from this time of waiting? The Son of God would. For the Son would fast in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights in order to deliver us. He was in the wilderness 40 days being tempted by Satan, and he was with the wild beasts, and the angels were ministering to him. Mark 1:13. And the Son would deliver his ministry to mankind over a 40-month span. And after his 40 months of ministry, he would sacrifice his life for us on the cross. And after he had risen from the dead, the Son of Man returned for 40 days and 40 nights to prepare his disciples for the Spirit and the ministry that would come. To these he also presented himself alive after his suffering, by many convincing proofs, appearing to them over a period of 40 days, and speaking of a thing concerning the kingdom of God. Acts 1:13. And after 40 days with his servants, the Son of Man would ascend into heaven. And now his servants wait patiently in 40 for his return.